A report into the secret Morrison Ministries scandal has found the former Prime Minister attempted to seize a sixth portfolio. Anthony Albanese was scathing of his predecessor, who could face a censure motion in Parliament next week.
A power grab by a Prime Minister in a pandemic. Scott Morrison secretly took control of 5 portfolios during 2020 and 2021. A new report has found his actions were both unnecessary and corroded trust in government.
The actions of the former Prime Minister were extraordinary, they were unprecedented, and they were wrong.
Former High Court Justice Virginia Bell found Mr Morrison's decision to secretly swear himself into the health and finance portfolios was unnecessary. If Mr Hunt or Mr Cormann had become incapacitated, Mr Morrison could have been authorised to act in a matter of minutes. In 2021, Mr Morrison went further, assuming control of Treasury, Home Affairs, Industry and Resources. The report finds that had little connection to the pandemic. Rather, it was done so he could potentially override ministerial decisions, including on the PEP 11 gas project. For the first time, this report has revealed the former Prime Minister also considered seizing a 6th portfolio, agriculture and water, but ultimately didn't proceed.
I took the decisions that I thought I needed to take.
Scott Morrison chose not to speak with Ms Bell directly, instead only engaging via his lawyers.
That contradicts the very clear statement that Scott Morrison said when this inquiry was announced.
Hitting back, Mr Morrison says he provided 6 separate responses to the inquiry. While noting the criticism, he argues the decisions were taken during an extremely challenging period where there was a need for considerable urgency. He added that the criticisms of his decisions have been made after the event and with the benefit of this perspective. The Governor-General's role in signing off on the ministerial appointments raised eyebrows, but the report found that criticism to be unwarranted.
He was acting upon the advice of the elected government of the day.
Scott Morrison remains on the backbench and says he intends to serve as the member for Cook. When he returns to Canberra next week, he faces the prospect of being censured on the floor of the House of Representatives for misleading Parliament.
We will make those decisions over coming days.
Do you think Scott Morrison has misled the Parliament?
Well, quite clearly. He's misled the Parliament every single day in which he stood there.
Even those once the most loyal to Mr Morrison have lashed out. Former Deputy and Treasurer Josh Frydenberg labelled the secret move extreme overreach, a view backed by current colleagues.
Without clarity around the reasons why, it would appear to be overreach, yes.
The report recommended 6 changes to improve transparency and accountability in ministerial appointments. The opposition has promised to provide bipartisan support. Trudy McIntosh, Sky News, Canberra.